a shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream, fast as lightning, it's a dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf queen, the top supporter scene, in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be, join the race, watch and see.
Engines roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight, fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SAFRL on a Tuesday night, adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line, in the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near, fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap, draw unfolds, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night, adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line, in the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near, fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap, drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night, adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line, in the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
Nico rolled into F1 back in 2010.
A German kid with dreams, pole in Brazil back when. Williams gave him wings, but then they clipped him fast. Sent him to the sidelines, dreams fading in the past. Force India and all, he drove with fire and heart. But podiums dodged him like a mule kicking in the dark. 3-4 so close in Belgium, Korea too. Hockenheim's reign in 19 slid right out adieu. Oh, Nico, you chased that podium dream. 238 starts, no trophies gleam. Through rain and wrecks you fought, never lost your spark. Silverstone's mud in 25, you lit up the dark. Le Mans in 15, you won with Porsche's roar. But F1's cruel mistress kept locking that door. Sauberhausen back, you badgered for a seat. Günther Steiner laughed, Nico, you can't be beat. Monaco 16, Sergio stole the show. Bad pit calls left you stuck in traffic's bitter flow. Yet you kept on driving, no quit in your soul. A freight hauler's son with a heart made of gold. Oh, Nico, you chased that podium dream. 238 starts, no trophies gleam. Through rain and wrecks you fought, never lost your spark. Silverstone's mud in 25, you lit up the dark. From P19 in a Sauber that ain't grand, you danced through the rain, took fate in your hand. Lewis chased you down, but you said not today. Held off that Ferrari, sent the crowd in a fray. Lego trophy in hand, you grin with that sass. Silver or gold be nice, but I'll take this plastic class. The paddock went wild, Max gave you a nod. Jonathan Wheatley hollered, man, you're a racing god. Oh, Nico, you chased that podium dream. 238 starts, no trophies gleam. Through rain and wrecks you fought, never lost your spark. Silverstone's mud in 25, you lit up the dark. So here's to Nico, the hawk who broke the curse. 15 years of grit, no one drove it worse or better. Raise a bottle high for that Silverstone day. Nico's finally podium bound, and he's here to stay. Gather round, mates, for a tale that's a laugh about a racer named Jack took an F1 path. Aussie lad with guts, but he spun that ride, crashed his dreams, now he's off to the side. Jack Gold Coast born with speed in his heart. Dad's a legend, gave him racing from the start. F4, F3, tearing up the scene. F2 king, living out his dream. Alpine shouted, Jack, you're our man. Gave him Ocon's seat, thought he'd lead the plan. But 25 roared like a roo gone wild. Jack's F1 hopes got wrecked in exile. Suzuka turn 1, pushing 8 and 5. Slammed that wall, car barely survived. Team radio buzz, Jack, you still there? He's stumbling out, dust in his hair. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Miami Grand Prix thought he'd make a mark. Turn 1, lap 1, sent Liam Lawson to the dark. Penalty stacked, his license near shot. Speeding in the pits, fines hit the lot. Alpine's cash took a hit from a spree. Boss Solly Oak said, Jack, you're killing me. Franco Colapinto with bucks and a smile. Snagged Jack's seat, sent him back in exile. Fans online are cackling, saying Jack's a bust. 6 races, no points made, you're eating dust. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away
ain't coming back. Jack swore he'd push like a dingo on fire, but his car's in scraps and his dreams retired. Back to reserve, just a spare in the shed. F1 chewed him up, left his hopes for dead. Here's to Jack with a grin and a cheer. Your F1 run was a wild outback steer. Aussie battler, you gave it a crack, but them crashes prove Jack ain't coming back. Oi, mate. Oh, Jack ain't coming back. He's done, oi, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Oi, mate.
Folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that middle. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. And engine screams, she's the guardian of our speed-filled dreams. With skull and flight, an alien on the chase, she's the calm in the storm, our guiding grace. Andre by her side, loyal and strong, their love's been racing all along. But it's the brotherhood she holds so near, with every lap she makes it clear. Oh, Death Queen, heart of the grid, with every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt she tears through night. Her voice, our fuel, our fearless light.
she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, Death Queen in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Trophies shine, but not like her pride. Watching Skull and Andre glide. She's there in silence, she's there in roar, in every circuit, every lore. From midnight spins to dawn's first light, she's always there holding us tight. No crash too deep, no curve too wide. With her in spirit, we rise, we ride. Oh, Death Queen, heart of the grid. With every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt she tears through night. Her voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, Death Queen in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Just a fan, she's legacy born, through every F1 storm we wore. Holding the line, fierce and unseen, forever our monarch, our Death Queen. Whoa, Death Queen, heart of the grid. With every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt she tears through night. Her voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, Death Queen in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Yeah, oh, Death Queen, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Not Fernando calls to play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Death Queen, the top support is seen in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Engines roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SKR on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SKR on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SKR on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
Nico rolled into F1 back in 2010. A German kid with dreams, Pole in Brazil back when. Williams gave him wings, but then they clipped him fast. Sent him to the sidelines, dreams fading in the past. Force India and all, he drove with fire and heart. But podiums dodged him like a mule kicking in the dark. 3-4 so close in Belgium, Korea too. Hockenheim's reign in 19 slid right out a due. Oh, Nico, you chased that podium dream. 238 starts, no trophies gleam. Through rain and wrecks you fought, never lost your spark. Silverstone's mud in 25, you lit up the dark. Le Mans in 15, you won with Porsche's roar. But F1's cruel mistress kept locking that door. Sauberhausen back, you badgered for a seat. Günther Steiner laughed, Nico, you can't be beat. Monaco 16, Sergio stole the show. Bad pit calls left you stuck in traffic's bitter flow. Yet you kept on driving, no quit in your soul. A freight hauler's son with a heart made of gold. Oh, Nico, you chased that podium dream. 238 starts, no trophies gleam. Through rain and
God, it's
wrecks you
broken.
fought,
It's
never
broken.
lost your spark.
Okay, can you bring it back, Lance?
Silverstone in 25,
Oh.
you
Oh.
lit up the dark. From P19 in a Sauber that ain't grand, you danced through the rain, took fate in your hand. Lewis chased you down, but you said not today. Held off that Ferrari, sent the crowd in a fray. Lego trophy in hand, you grin with that sass. Silver or gold, be nice, but I'll take this plastic
God, it's
class.
broken! It's broken!
The paddock went wild, Max gave you a nod. Jonathan Wheatley hollered, man, you're a racing god. Oh, Nico, you chased that podium dream. 238 starts, no trophies gleam. Through rain and wrecks you fought, never lost your spark. Silverstone's mud in 25, you lit up the dark. So here's to Nico, the hawk who broke the curse. 15 years of grit, no one drove it worse or better. Raise a bottle high for that Silverstone day. Nico's finally podium bound, and he's here to stay.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SKR on a Sunday evening. It was round 12, round 9. And we're in for something a little different, because we're in Zandvoort. But we're going to be going around in reverse. At this point, a lot of drivers have done races, have done practice laps on these circuits, but you still got to remember, a lot of these tracks have been on the game for many a year. Guys are very familiar with the layout, if not from the F1 game, maybe from another game. Zandvoort, very popular, but in reverse, I assure you, they have nowhere near the same amount of track time, and mistakes are bound to happen, even to the best. There's 14 drivers in the lobby so far. A few more might squeeze in before the race, but as things stand, quite a low turnout. The reverse Zandvoort may be scaring a few away. Right on board with Virus as he goes down the main straight. The other way around. Now look at this for a turn one. Almost feels like you're on an oval. Turn one. Struggling to come to terms there with the car not really hitting the apex. These lap times will come down as the session goes on. What always happens on these reverse circuits. As the time goes on, the guys just tune into it a little bit more. In the beginning, where do I brake? Where do I turn in? I'm not quite sure. Some of the drivers I know haven't done a lap of practice, as they've admitted to it. You're driving with the Aston Martin of Skulk. No lap times on the screen just yet. Spikes is on an out lap. Everybody else on a quick lap. In fact, everyone on a quick lap except Jonas. He is in the pits for now. Virus, the first driver over the line with a 1:10.8. What does that mean? I don't know. Wheeze a 1:10.2. Not a lot of data to read off when we go to these reverse circuits. Go in here blind. Don't really know what a good lap time is. But Wheeze has gone through with a 1:10.2. Off a second quicker than the next best. Next best is Sugar Bear, 1:10.7. And look at that. Top of the pile. That's not the name of someone. Top of the pile. Captain Slow goes P1, a 1:10.1. And this is the unknowns of a reverse circuit. And throw up something special. Maybe a midfield driver who's been spending a lot of time on this layout. Might find himself at the front. Someone you expect to see at the front. You might find struggling around this race circuit. Spikes has reclaimed that position, 109.4. That is the quickest time, and it's the quickest time by quite some margin. Not only is he the only driver in the 109s, he's in the low 109s. 7/10 the gap on that front row. More to come, surely. Wheeze sits in the pits. This is the second of the Mercedes. Not too far behind his teammate, just 2/10 adrift from Wheeze. I think there is still a lot to come from that other Mercedes driver. Wheeze just a 1:10.2. We know he's got a little more than that in him. Pantry Star goes over the line. His best at the moment, a 10.9. Let's bring up some data on your screens. Have a better idea of what everyone's doing out there. Down in P10, Andre, after his first run, a 1:11.6. Seen it many times this season, those two McLarens, Andre and Top Gun, they can get very, very close on quali pace. At the moment, Andre just has that upper hand, a 1:11.6 versus a 1:11.8. McLaren's P10, P11. Not what we've become accustomed to seeing in real life. We are used to seeing those McLarens P1, P2. Maybe Andre and Top Gun have a little more to come. Going to asking if Death Queen is driving tonight. You know they never confirm these things with me. They're interchangeable. I'm not quite sure. Skull, Andre, Death Queen. There's two cars, there's three drivers. So we're never quite sure who's in what car. All I know is Skull hasn't been having a very good season 12 in SKR or SAFRL. But he did win that one race. That P4. Now I wonder if that was Death Queen. Queen, was that you? Spike still top of the field. 109.4. Nobody else has been able to get into those 109s just yet. This is Captain Slow. He went top when he did his first run, 110.1. That has since been beaten. Wheeze, 110.2. Looking for something better. Looking for something to dip him into the 109s or maybe beyond. data for this circuit that we have is minimal. We don't know what is a good lap time around this circuit. Lots of people go into this thinking it's just Zandvoort in reverse. How difficult could it be? Where there was a left-hander, there's now a right-hander. It's not that simple. Where it was up, it's now down. Where it was left, it was right. Everything is backwards. How you approach the corner, how you take the corner, everything about the circuit might as well be a new circuit on the calendar. We're riding with Wheeze. His best time is a 110.2. He is out on circuit. He's gone quicker. Second driver into the 109s. Not quite quick enough to take pole position. 109.5. But that is a lot closer to Spike's 109.5 versus a 109.4. So just a tenth of a second cover the front row. And then the second row a 110. Or rather a 110.1 versus a 110.2 in P4. So a tenth of a second covers the front row, tenth of a second covers the second. A caution in sector 2. It's not necessarily a crash, that could just be somebody getting out of the way, as you saw a Mercedes there on the inside of the circuit. Zandvoort, one of the more classic circuits on the calendar, and as a result also happens to be a little bit more narrow than what we've come accustomed to in modern standards. The driver's very important. They just get out of the way in qualifying. If you're on an out lap, if you're on an in lap, if you're not doing the business, just make sure you get out of the way. You would like for that to be returned your way. That comment has confused me even further. Now I really don't know what is happening in what car. In the comment section. So one of the drivers out on circuit, he's currently in the pits and in the comment section saying the track has a terrible flow to it. Of course, it wasn't designed to go in this direction. Everything is wrong. In some cases, the runoff areas will be in the wrong places. Not perfect. I think the best of these reverse tracks is Austria. I think everything pretty much works on that circuit, with exception to the hairpin. Hairpin is a disaster. Six a kilo or so in the comment section, trying to get into the lobby. Still just over 5 minutes remaining. You can see Six a kilo joining the lobby before the race gets going. Then we can get going with 15, and we've seen a McLaren go off. And that had nothing to do with me, because I didn't mention his name. I didn't even know we were on board with him until I saw him slip. But Andre lives to fight another day. Luckily, no terminal damage. He's able to bring that car home, get a new set of tires on it, and have another go. He did all of those laps on the same set of tires. That means he had a lot of extra fuel in the car. And when that fuel did lighten up, he didn't have fantastic tires on the car. Once he gets in, fixes that damage, puts on some new rubber, and drops off all unnecessary fuel, he should have a lot more in his pocket. Spike's still the quickest driver so far with that 109.4. Weeze back out on track again. He's just finished another outlap, starting a quick lap. Current best 109.5. Needs a 10th. He's going to take that pole position away from Spikes. Can tell you another 3 drivers have joined the 109s. You didn't notice that. Jonas 109.8, then Glitch and Captain Slow both on 109.9s. Things getting very close. Everyone in the top 5 in the 109s. There's a Ferrari, rather a Red Bull, going off track. Luckily, just at the pit entry, so they're able to cross the circuit and into the pits. Have to wait till that time trying to get all the way back around. Particular still struggling to get into the lobby. Might have to be a spectator this time round. Disappointing to see just the 14 drivers. We've got a few more that aren't able to get in. It's the way technology works sometimes. We're looking at Captain Slow, 109.9. He was in provisional pole when he did his initial lap. He has improved since that initial lap. And good enough for P5. That top 5 really close together. Look at that. 3, 4, and 5. 109.8, 109.9, 109.9. It's a 10th of a second covering 3 cars. Looking at Gunner. The only Alpine here this evening. Currently in P10. Andre in the pits. Skulk in the pits. Skull also in the pits. I saw one McLaren going off the circuit. This is the other McLaren. Quite easy to tell apart. Top Gun running the McLaren chrome livery, as you can see there. A lot of drivers in the pits now. Spikes on an outlap. Weeze, P1, Jonas, Glitch, Captain Slow, Virus. All 5 of those drivers sitting in the pits, preparing for what will have to be their final run. Spikes has gone earlier than all of them. He's going to be slightly out of sync. He's going to set his lap time first. Can't see how much time's left in the session because we've got that caution in Sector 2. That disappears. Spikes 109.4 on an outlap. Looking for something more. He was in P1 not so long ago. Now P2, Weeze 109.3. Spikes needs to find a 10th of a second. He's got this quick lap now. Let's ride on board with him. Turn 1, you have to be so committed, it's like an oval. And he found a car there on the inside. It get well out of the way, but I wonder if that's just enough to put you off slightly. Looks like he's backed out of this. We'll have that caution, there we go, just a minute and a half remaining, so a little bit of fuel because still have energy, they can charge up and go again. I wonder if Weeze is going to go again. He let go of that lap pretty early on, should be able to charge up. This is Pantry Star, the second of the 2 Ferraris, the other one up in P5 on an outlap of his own. Pantry Star wanting to join that top 5. Opens up DRS, goes over the line, and what's the improvement? It's a good improvement. Goes just behind his teammate into P6 to 110.2. From one Ferrari to another Ferrari, and this Ferrari spinning. Captain Slow going to be the final run. Don't think much is going to come from it. Go to Spikes. is the driver in P2. Looks like the only driver who could possibly steal pole position away at this stage, but it's all going to be about this final lap. 109.4. Doesn't need to find much, just a tenth of a second will do it. Does he have that tenth of a second? If he does, he'll know exactly where he made a mistake on the last lap, exactly where he can improve. He'll be going through the motions on this lap, just thinking of that one corner. Gotta get it right, gotta stitch everything together. Gonna squeeze out that extra 10. Driving it must be terrible from a commentary perspective. It doesn't even look like Zandvoort. Over the line, Spikes does not find an improvement. 109.4, that'll be his best. Jonas jumps off the throttle. This glitch. Currently in P4, 109.9. If you have anything left, he can find a 10. He can jump into P3. What does he have? Over the line. Does find some time. A 109.5. Almost good enough for the front row, but just not quite. Jonas had enough of qualifying. He returns into the pits, and everybody else has taken the checkered flag. That is qualifying for round 9. Of course, just the one qualifying session. No eliminations, nothing like that. We're going straight off into the race. This will be your starting field. Weeze from pole position, 109.3. Spikes P2, 109.4. Nothing in it, 700ths of a second. They're going to be followed by Glitch, Jonas, Captain Slow, Virus, Pantry Star, Sugar Bear, Harsh Cartoon, and Gunner makes up the top 10. Then P11, you have Andre, P12, Skulk, 13, Top Gun, and I believe it was Skull, P14. How is it that I can get through all the names when there's 20 of them and I run out of screen time when there's 14? Now we look down the empty pit lane at Zandvoort. All the cars will be to the right hand side of your screen doing their final preparations for the race. Don't know how many of those drivers are going to be feeling confident into turn 1. But remember, like I said earlier in qualifying, a lot of these tracks, all of these tracks predominantly have been on multiple games at this stage. If you've been driving Imola, you've probably been doing Imola in some form for a very long time. When compared to this circuit, how many times have you realistically headed off into turn 1 in a race situation compared to, let's say, Kota? Some drivers, Skull was one of the drivers that admitted he hadn't done any practice prior to the race. He's starting from the rear of the field, and I wonder if that's because he was truly the slowest driver in qualifying, or if he's just wanting to start at the rear of the field. Because who knows what's going to happen into turn 1. You don't really want to be part of it. Better to spectate the chaos, try drive around it, than be part of the chaos. Still, let's not make the weekend any worse, shall we? Proteas lost to Australia on Saturday morning. Then the Springboks lost to Australia on Saturday night. Then Drickus lost this morning. And then Brad Binder lost out on a possible podium this afternoon after being pushed wide at the final corner in Austria. So don't make my sporting weekend any worse. I don't think it can get much worse. Thought there was nothing worse than losing to Australia. Well, there is. How about losing to Australia twice in the same day? Of course, we are on the formation lap. And final go for everybody to get around the circuit, this time with a full fuel tank for the first time this evening. It will feel a little different than what it did in qualifying. In qualifying, it's going to be a little bit more nimble. It's going to just point in the direction you want it. In the race, you add all that extra weight. Well, it gets a bit sluggish. Right, even a Formula 1 car can feel a bit sluggish. I would just wait for the 5 red lights to come on one after the other, and when there's 5 of them, there'll be a pause. When they go off, we go off. It's a Mercedes versus an Aston Martin versus a Mercedes into turn 1. Jonas has actually got in past Glitch way before turn 1. So the Red Bull makes up a position. Virus makes up another position. We have our first retirement. Glitch out of the race. Glitch out of the race, and that is the uncertainty. We are under full safety car conditions. That is the uncertainty that comes with a reverse circuit. You head off into turn 1, and turn 1 is an unknown. Even if you've practiced this layout with no one else around you, you really don't know what turn 1 is going to look like in a race situation. And Glitch comes the first to fall. On Sunday, that doesn't start with great attendance. Losers their first. We barely got going. I always say a safety car can flip a race, it can mix the pot, it can change things around, but a safety car on lap 1, well, it really doesn't help anyone unless you got damage on that opening lap. If you did get damage on that opening lap, you're able to come into the pits, get a new wing, join the back with a queue. That's going to save you a lot of time. Skull and Andre, two of the drivers that chose to come into the pits under the safety car. They've both gone for the hard compound of tire, so different teams, but same thinking. Andre and Skull both into the pits under the safety car, put on a set of hard tires. Surely that tire can't go to the end. Maybe they're thinking of taking that tire as long as they can, and maybe to the next safety car. Going going to be the sort of race that if you don't have the pace around this layout, the only way you can get a good result is by rolling that dice when you get the opportunity. When you get a safety car, when something happens, you've got to think quick, make a decision, hope it's the right one. Wheeze leads from Spikes, then Jonas, then Virus. Not much was able to happen there at the start. Jonas and Virus both picked up positions. Of course, on Glitch, that was before Glitch's crash. We didn't see what happened. Saw both Red Bulls get by him and then the retirement. I wonder if there was contact there. Simply a driver error. Still under full safety car conditions, and yes, that is lap 3 of 36. Even more shocking is that safety car came out after turn 1. Can you imagine the havoc of that turn 1? We had 20 drivers here tonight. Would have been even messier. Looking at the track map, looks like Stel and Andre have joined the back of the queue on those hard tires. I think the safety car will be in shortly. We'll get that notification. The safety car will pull off into the distance. And Wheeze will get us going. There we go, safety car in this lap, and immediately Wheeze jumping on the brakes. Safety car pulls off into the distance. Wheeze takes control of the race, takes over the responsibilities of the safety car till that start finish line. Only the leader can decide when to start, and there can be no passing till the start finish line. Wheeze, Spikes versus the 2 Red Bulls. Get ready. We're about to get going again. Wheeze versus Spikes versus the Red Bulls versus the Ferraris. That is your top 6. Who's going to come out of turn 1? Are they going to come out of turn 1 in one piece? This time everyone heads through turn 1 with a little bit more space than they did at the start. We've got through turn 1 safely. We do have a caution in sector 1, but everybody appears to be on the move. Wheeze versus Spikes, and look at Jonas. Early days, and Jonas attacks. He wants to get up the road. He wants to get to Wheeze. He's one of the championship contenders, and he does not want that Mercedes to disappear up the road. Can't get too desperate. Needs to be patient. Wrong overtake. Desperate overtake. Might just cost you your wing. That's going to cost you a whole lot more time than spending an extra lap behind your opponent. Spike's big lockup. That's going to allow Jonas to come right back at him. One little mistake affects your momentum. You find yourself that mistake following you through the next corner and the next. Wheeze over the line to complete the first of the racing laps. Leads the way from Spikes, the gap 0.7 of a second, then Jonas in P3. With Jonas winning out big in round 6, I believe it was. Something like 31 points from that encounter. Brought him right back into the championship. It was obviously a sprint night. We have one more of those coming up in the calendar a little later on. Nice helicopter shot of the circuit Zandvoort. Of course, first Grand Prix was held here. Well, in the first Grand Prix that Formula 1 was a championship, 1950. along with some other greats like Silverstone, Monza, and Spa. Jonas still in P3. He has dropped off his teammate though. The two Red Bulls were coming very much together, but Jonas on his own now. Virus has dropped back. Now he's dropped back below the Ferrari. Captain Slow making up a position up into P4. Still a name that confuses me. You're a racing driver. Get rid of the word slow in your name. It's just not right. Was a driver that was at the rear of the field not so long ago. Now he's up into the points. Skull in P10, being followed by Andre. Andre's a second back from Skull, coming under pressure from his teammate. The two McLarens running very close together, just 0.3 of a second between the two. Last thing you want to do is run into a teammate. On a night like tonight, just the 14 starters, one of them retired immediately. Means you just got the 13 runners on the track, and chances for points are, it's a fantastic chance for points, one you don't want to miss out on. Those McLarens would rather both be in the points than run into each other. Hopefully those teammates are in communication and they know what each other are doing. They might be on two very different strategies. At the front, it's Wheeze, Spikes, and Jonas. P3 look like they're going to give us quite the race. All three of the drivers on the medium compound. You can't say that one of them is sticking with the other two because of the soft. That's not the case. They're all three on the same compound of tyre. They all have the same advantages. First driver on the soft tyre, that's down in P5, that's Virus. Got a great start in the race. Was able to get past Glitch and then follow his teammate quite closely in the opening laps, but he has since fallen off, and I wonder if those softs have just passed their peak. Nobody else in the field choosing to go with that soft tyre, and that might just be why. Doesn't have much of a lifespan. We still out front from Spikes from Jonas. That is your top three, and it's been your top three for the entirety of the race. Captain Slow in P4, Virus P5, then Pantry Star, the second Ferrari. We have Harsh Cartoon in the points yet again. Then Sugar Bear P8, Skull picked up another position. We checked, he was in P10, he's now up into P9. Andre also up into the points. So 9 and 10 for the Williams-McLaren duo. But both those drivers came into the pits under the safety car. The only two drivers to come into the pits under the safety car, and they put on a set of hard tyres. So they're going to be out of sync. Everybody else in the field. Looking up towards the skies, and all you see is clear skies, so weather will not be an issue. Will safety cars be an issue? Well, they've already been an issue. We had one on the exit of turn 1. Since then, things have been going pretty smoothly. Wheeze, Spikes, Jonas, very much in a race of their own at the front, able to match each other lap after lap, all on the same compound of tyre. Going to be an interesting race. Then a little further back, 4.7 seconds back, got Virus in P4. He's got a little queue behind him of his own. The two Ferraris, Captain Slow and Pantry Star. Then another 2.3 seconds back, you'll find Harsh Cartoon and Sugar Bear, 7 and 8. And then 9 and 10. Skull and Andre. And Andre bringing along that second McLaren with him. No changes at the front, as it were. Wheeze, Spikes, Jonas. 4 tenths, 3 tenths. That's 8 tenths of a second between the top 3 cars. Nothing in it. At the end of lap 10, 36. Spike still holding on to that P4. So maybe I underestimated that soft tire. Maybe just made a few mistakes and that was why he went back. But for the time being, he's holding on to that soft tire. He's able to defend from those Ferraris. He's been holding them back quite some time. It will be so frustrating. You feel like you should be getting past. Soft's on 9 laps old. You're on the medium. Feel like you should have the superior tire at the moment. Just can't make that overtake stick. Danforth, one of those circuits. Overtaking opportunities not as common as some other places. The biggest it's been between the top 3. The second between the top 3 cars. Jonas losing his way there a little bit, 6 tenths of a second. Wonder if he made an error, but he's coming back at them immediately. Gap between 3 and 4 continues to grow, now 6 seconds. We are speaking of the Red Bull on the soft tire, how he's holding those Ferraris back, and he's still holding the Ferraris back. Captain Slow looked like he was going towards the inside. Would have needed a bit of a lunge. Whenever you go for one of those lunges, you know, break an end plate, break a wing, it's all for nothing. There again, Captain Slow looked like he was just lining him up, and then the Ferrari got a little out of shape. Gone back a little bit, they were a lot closer. Your eyes on that battle, those Ferraris are going to Red Bull any lap now, just 10 laps already on those soft tires. Ferraris will be thinking they should be through at this stage, being held up. Weeze leads the way, Spikes, then Jonas. Top 3 remain in the same order. Two Ferraris still sitting behind that Red Bull, and now there we go, Captain Slow. That's what pressure can do. Sometimes you feel the pressure because somebody's chasing you. Sometimes you feel the pressure because lap after lap you feel like you should be making an overtake and you just can't make it stick. I think the one is pressure, the other, the one in this case, was frustration. Captain Slow losing out. His teammate will fight on. And he starts still in P5, but in the process of avoiding his teammate, also lost a bit of momentum, and now there's a 1.5 second gap to Virus up the road. Virus can breathe a sigh of relief. Nothing's changed at the front. Same 3, same order. They're not even switching the order between the 3 of them. It's just Weeze, Spikes and Jonas. No time difference, no position change. Holding station. And I wonder if the only thing that will split them is that pit window. Crucially, none of the top 3 are teammates. We have seen situations like this with 3 cars racing each other and 2 of them happen to be teammates. It means there'll be a double stack. It means one of them has to pit earlier, one has to pit later. In this scenario, they could all come into the pits at the same time. But Virus is still showing that those soft tires are still going around. Those medium tires should still have a lot in them. One Ferrari failed. And this Ferrari didn't need to try. Virus comes into the pits. Pantry Star gets up into P4. P4 that Ferrari was trying to take for a very long time. Pantry Star up into P4. Virus in the pits. See where he comes out. Now it's quite low down the order. The car's not that spread apart. It's making a pit stop. Brings you back out in P11. He's on a brand new set of hard tires. Those will probably go to the end of the race. I wonder what is the plan for Skull in P8 and Andre in P9. They went for that different strategy that no one else on the circuit chose to go for. They went into the pits under that first safety car very early on in the race. They're on a set of hard tires. They're still on that set of hard tires. 12 laps now. Surely those tires won't go to the end. What is the plan? Field now at the front. Reading out. But Wheeze, Jonas, 7/10 of a second. Spikes has come into the pits. There he is. Beyond the pit exit. And a retirement. Retirement. Look to the track map. And we are under full safety car conditions. Retirement for one of the two Ferraris. Pantry Star. Pantry Star is out of this race. One Ferrari had a spin. The other Ferrari made up some ground. That's the Ferrari that is out. And we are under our second full safety car of the evening. We're down to just 12 runners. Now this could be perfect situation if you're Skull, if you're Andre. Remember I said I didn't really understand their strategy or what they were doing. Well, this could be what they were hoping for. Of course, you need to use two compounds in every Formula 1 race. And see what compound Andre and Skull started on. I'm going to presume they started on the medium or the soft, jumped onto the hard. Regardless what tire they put on here, should be able to get to the end of the race. There is Andre, he's only coming into the pits now. And effectively do. This can give you a free pit stop. If you're one of the drivers who unfortunately went and made a pit stop just prior to that safety car happening, sorry for you. We've lost one Mercedes. We've lost one Ferrari. Good opportunity for McLaren to get double points. Red Bull could get double points. The only other team with two cars here is Aston Martin. One of those Aston Martins outside of the points. As things stand, that's Skulk in P12. Of course, this allows that entire field to come back together. If you haven't had a fantastic first stint to the race, gives you somewhat of a clean slate to have another go. Just joined us, you're looking at safety car. Well, this is our second safety car of the evening. Had one very, very early on. Of course, it is a reverse circuit. Drivers went into turn 1. They were going into the unknown. Got a safety car. As a result, now we've just had our second safety car with the retirement of Pantry Star. Down to 12 runners. Knew it was going to be a difficult race. The only thing missing in this race is a splash of rain. Fortunately, we're not going to get any of that. Blue skies above. And 17 of 36. Safety car will be in this lap. There is the notification. Immediately, Wheeze out front. He'll jump off the throttle. He'll slow everything down. He'll make sure that field is back together, backed up. And then in an ideal scenario, just get a jump on the rest of the field. Let's see what he can do into turn 1. Safety car is safely in the pits. And we have a restart. Wheeze versus Jonas versus Spikes. Round 2. Spikes thought about going up the inside of the Red Bull. Thought better of it. Just tucks in behind the Red Bull for now. And that is the order. Wheeze, Jonas, Spikes. It was Wheeze, Spikes, Jonas. 2 and 3. The swap positions. Wheeze holds on to P1 as if it's his own. Virus is one of the drivers that will appreciate that safety car. He came into the pits to get rid of those soft tires, come onto a hard set of tires. Safety car came out, slowed everyone down. Since he's come out in P4, he's on a competitive set of tires. Harsh Cartoon in P5. Look at that. Harsh Cartoon is in P5 and Virus not made an appearance. Or is it Visor? It's Visor. Virus has made an appearance. There he is. He's on the grid. I'm talking about Visor. You're looking at Skull. Tony Williams here this evening. Currently in P7. Be a nice handful of points. Second penalty. Didn't see who that was for, but Andre is out of the race. And there comes the safety car out of the pit exit. We are under safety car conditions for the 3rd time. And this time, it's Andre that falls. Gunner picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the pit lane. Or speeding in the pit lane rather. Going to help his race at all. Welcome to Visor in the comment section. Good to have you. Well indeed. This is the 3rd safety car of the evening. The first one was triggered at the exit of turn 1, lap 1. Kaiser just in time to see Harsh Cartoon up in P5. You know what that means, but that's if he can finish there. Up 20 of 36. Wheeze, Jonas, Spikes. Those have been the three drivers that have dominated the race up until this point. They've just had these annoying little safety cars coming out, letting the rest of the field catch up to them. Otherwise, they'd be well down the road. Now, crucially, there is a penalty, a crucial penalty there for Spikes. Driver in P3 and one of the favorites for this race. And it's a harsh penalty. That is a 10-second penalty for Spikes. Of course, he will serve that in the pits if he chooses to make another pit stop. There you go. Or we're looking at Captain Slow, rather. But that is Spikes we're talking about. 10-second penalty. If he does another pit stop, he will serve the 10 seconds there. If not, it's going to be a very nasty 10 seconds added to his race time. That's when penalties can be quite disappointing. 3 drivers in this race who magically were able to match each other's pace lap after lap. And now those 3 cars will be split up by a penalty. And sometimes those penalties, they're not really due. We know funny things can happen under these safety car conditions, and well, we've had a few safety cars. Quite a few of you watching. Wonder if the extra viewers are just the retired drivers coming into the stream. You've just joined us, welcome. Welcome to NFR, and thanks for supporting SKR on a Sunday night. Lap 21 of 36. It's been chaotic. I've seen so many races on this channel in this very league where we don't get a safety car for the entirety of the race. We've seen others that land up quite messy. This is one of those others. We have lost a McLaren, we've lost a Ferrari, and we've lost a Mercedes. I think the only teammates that remain, we have 2 Red Bulls and 2 Aston Martins. Everybody else out on circuit either did not start with or has lost their teammate. Do like the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're almost at 1,100. Getting there. We need another 5 to get to 1,100. That last 100 came quite quickly. If you left the stream about 10 minutes ago and returned to the stream now, you must be thinking that's one awfully long safety car. Nope. Just another safety car. Captain Slow, he actually came into the pits under the safety car, and he's put on a set of soft tires. I don't know if he's going to have time to catch the queue. Might not have time to catch the queue. The safety car's already pulled off into the distance. We're already managing the pace at the front. Guys are entertaining the comment section with fun facts. Fun fact about Harsh Cartoon. And Harsh Cartoon's semi-automatic brake pedal. I think that's what it's called. A semi-automatic brake pedal. You brake when you want to. You really don't need to. Weeze leads the way, Jonas in P2, then Spikes P3 as it has been for the entirety of the race. Disappointing part now is that Spikes has picked up a 10-second penalty. Of course, we've had safety cars throughout the race. If we get another one, it's going to make it very, very difficult for Spikes to get a decent result with that 10-second penalty. If things were to finish as they were right now, well, finish 10th. Liza, do you think that's a appropriate term? A semi-automatic brake pedal? You only use it when you feel like it. Weeze, Jonas, 0.3 of a second. Spikes falling a little further back, 0.7 of a second behind Jonas. Captain Slow out of the race. Quick look to the track map suggests no safety car this time round. We'll keep going. That is a second retirement for the Ferrari team, and a team that was hoping to bag a few points here this evening. Well, no more points for the Scuderia. We've lost the McLaren, we've lost the Mercedes, and we've lost both Ferraris. Weeze still out front from Jonas, then Spikes. You're looking at the man in P4 with a big lockup. That is Virus. Harsh Cartoon just behind him in P5. Harsh Cartoon starting to come under pressure from Sugar Bear for that P5. You got Skulk in P7. He was the driver right at the rear of the field not so long ago. Now up into P7. That's what happens when you get a race like this evening. Disqualified for Gunner. Well, that was a drive-through. It is not a 10-second penalty. That is not something you can serve after the race. Caught speeding under the safety car, you get given a drive-through penalty that cannot be served under safety car conditions, and you only have 3 laps to serve that penalty. Or when you cross the start-finish line, you get disqualified, and that's what happened there. So Gunner goes right to the bottom of that field because he's not a DNF, he's a DSQ. Means we just have 9 runners remaining in this race. And drivers who thought points were not a possibility tonight, well, if you've been able to hold it together, we're in the points. Everyone is in the points. You just need to bring these cars home. Still Weeze from Jonas. These two still very, very close together. It's going to come down to these two who wins the race. Spikes might win it on track. But he's not going to win it in the timesheets. Don't see him making a double overtake and opening a 10-second gap here with 10 laps remaining. It would be the most amazing drive I've ever commentated on. I just don't think it's going to happen. Right visor, the entire grid will get points as long as they bring it home. This is the driver that visor tunes in for. Harsh Cartoon in P5 in one of the 2 RBs. And the two racing bulls. Aren't you glad they got rid of the V-carb name? Clean and simple RB. Probably my favorite livery at the start of the 2025 season. And still one of my favorites. Josh Cartoon still defending from the Sauber, but the Sauber's awfully close. Not an easy place to overtake here in Zandvoort. Got to remember they're doing the circuit in reverse. This is not the way the circuit was meant to be driven. Some of these corners are not going to have overtaking in mind, because they were never designed that way. Anita there in the comment section, not sure how long you've been here or if you've just been very quiet in the background. Yes, there are a few penalties. Well, the only penalty on our screen is for spikes. A few other drivers had penalties, but they have since retired, so those penalties have disappeared from our screen. It's just spikes, and it's a hefty penalty. It's a 10-second penalty. It's a penalty that can steal a podium from you, and if you get a late safety car, it's a penalty that can do a lot worse than that. Apparently in preparation, Harsh Cartoon did between 3 and 4 hours of practice a day last week. Not quite sure how accurate those figures are, since they're coming from Pfizer. And Skull makes up a position. Harsh Cartoon just running wide there, taking the brake marker or the DRS board, whatever it was, he took it with him. That allowed Skull just to sweep up the inside. Harsh Cartoon down 2 positions now. Sugarbear got by. And then Skull was able to capitalize on that loss of momentum. He jumped through as well. So Harsh Cartoon down to P7. Visor is off the hook. Get to keep away from that buzz cut 1 week longer. We still out front, 7/10 of a second. Jonas, does he have more? Chasing so hard for so long, waiting for that mistake to come up the road. A mistake that just doesn't happen. And he still has the slight irritation. If he makes a mistake, loses momentum, all of a sudden his mirrors are filled with green. He knows he's not racing spikes in the timesheet. He has to race him on the race circuit, while he'd rather be focusing on that Mercedes up the road. Got his hands full with an Aston Martin. We do have a caution in Sector 2, but everything appears to be okay. There's a blue car going slowly. Might be Harsh Cartoon. They're in Sector 2. Let's have a look. Where is the RB? Was not the RB. He was going slowly. No idea. Fantastic. So Virus still in P4. Sugarbear behind him in P5. That looks like a pretty safe P4 for the time being. He's definitely not going to be battling with the top 3. He's got a comfortable 2.5 second gap down to Sugarbear. Sugarbear P5. Has run away from Harsh Cartoon somewhat. 2.8 seconds. Harsh Cartoon in P6. Skull. We didn't mention it, but Skull has retired. We just saw it now. Skull has retired from the race. Means 1 Williams, 1 McLaren, 1 Mercedes, 1 Alpine, and both Ferraris. What a race it's been. Still not as bad as Monte Carlo 1996. If you don't know, look it up. One driver retired on the formation lap from pole position. Driver second on the grid retired on lap 2. Looking at the second Red Bull in P4, all on his own. This is the first Red Bull. Still challenging for a race win. 0.6 of a second is the gap between the two. But there's just been no mistake from the Mercedes up the road. Weeze has been a picture of consistency. Lap after lap. Jonas has been there to match him. He just hasn't had that little extra. That little extra to make the overtake. Zandvoort not being favourable to the overtakes. Doesn't have the longest straight on the calendar, and just as you feel you're getting going, time to shut down that DRS again. Just 8 drivers remain. Who would have said? Get some drivers, you get some races rather. It can be pretty boring. People in the comment section crying for a safety car, crying for rain. Others, they get a nice safety car or two to mix it up. And then you get these. Disaster class is what I call it. That's what happens when you take a track like Zandvoort, flip it on its head, and say race that way. Lap 33 of 36. Counting down the laps. We'll be happy to see 3 to go, and that is a big mistake. A big mistake. That almost looked like a wheel disconnection. Not sure what happened there. You all saw it on screen. That has triggered a full course safety car. And Weeze has just handed that race to Jonas. That almost looked like a wheel disconnection. He went straight off. There was no attempt to turn. Fortunately, we're not going to get a replay, but would have loved to have seen a replay of that. Just went straight off. Didn't look like understeer or anything like that. It looked like he didn't attempt to make the corner at all. Wonder if that was just a wheel disconnecting and he only realized that it had disconnected when he tried to make the corner. If the race wasn't crazy enough, we go one more time. Late safety car. The worst thing that can happen for Spikes. But a 10-second penalty. Only 7 drivers remain in the field. They're all going to close up for McHugh. If he doesn't have enough time to form any sort of gaps, well, he could find himself finishing in P7 after challenging for the lead for the entirety of the race. Now that is cruel. Imagine fighting for the lead the entirety of the race down to the final lap and finishing in P7. That's what could happen here today. Of course, he could have come into the pits and served that 10-second penalty under the safety car. That would have still brought him out at the rear of the field. Either way, that 10-second penalty was the final nail in the coffin of the Netherlands race for Spikes. Can still manage to take home a decent amount of points tonight because there's only going to be 7 finishes. Even if he finishes at the rear of the field, good amount of points. The queue is not together and the safety car is coming back in because the race needs a little bit of time to race. Again, Weeze saying he had a screen freeze. He thought it might be a wheel disconnection. We happened to have it on stream when it happened, and it looked like a very strange incident. Just went straight off. And these funny things do tend to happen when people leave the lobby. Spikes at the restart. He's going to lead the way, but remember he's got a 10-second penalty next to his name. Jonas in P2, that will be your provisional winner of the race. But Spikes, but rather Virus, could steal victory out of nowhere. All he needs to do, get past his teammate, and he could win a race he never expected to win. Mistake there from Spikes. Car just getting out of shape. Gonna cost him a bit of momentum, but luckily for him, DRS is not active just yet. And it's one of the more difficult race circuits to make an overtake on. Either way, not going to win this race due to that penalty. I guarantee you Jonas wants to do it on the race circuit. It's about pride between racing drivers. Don't want to win because of a penalty. You want to win because you're the first car over the line. Side by side for the Aston Martin and the Red Bull, and this time round Red Bull up the inside, but the Aston Martin's able to get it stopped, gets the inside into the next and holds on to the lead. So Spike says, you're not taking the lead. I might lose it in the timesheets, but I'm going to fight for it on the race circuit. Spikes leads the way. Jonas, Jay thought he had that lead. The Aston Martin just came back at him yet again. Field still very close together. Calculations tell me that Spikes would finish last. The only team with 2 cars is Red Bull, P2 and 3. Remember, Spikes is going to fall down that order. We might very well have a Red Bull 1-2 on our hands. And Harsh Cartoon, that could be a P4. So not too long ago, 14 drivers attempted this crazy race. An hour and a half later, only 7 remain. That's a retirement rate of 50%. Lap 36 of 36, and there we go over the line. Spikes will win it on the race circuit, but not in the timesheet. He's just going to fall down the order. That's going to be painful for any driver to watch. There we go, Spikes P7, bottom of the field. That's what the 10-second penalty and late safety car combination will do. Let's just mute that. And there we go, fastest lap, Jonas, race winner, Jonas, and then most overtakes and cleanest driver going to Virus. It's an all Red Bull affair. To your results, Red Bull 1 and 2, fastest lap also going the way of Jonas, so he'll pick up the full 26 points on the evening. Sugar Bear picks up P3. Great race for him. Harsh Cartoon P4, Skulk P5, Top Gun P6, and Spikes is fighting for the lead the whole way round. He's going to finish in P7, and tonight, that is last. Retirements, Weeze with another tech issue. Skull, we didn't see what happened to him. Captain Slow, Andre, Pantry Star, Glitch. He was the first one to go in turn 1. And Gunner, well, he forgot. He forgot to serve his drive-through penalty and got disqualified as a result. There we go, folks. That was Season 12, Round 9 of SKR, the Netherlands. Of course, let's just bring up the calendar real quick so we can see where we're going next week. Where is the calendar? Did I make it? There we go. There's the calendar. So we are at Zandvoort in reverse. You can see there's a track. There's no track picture there because apparently they didn't know what it would look like in reverse. So Zandvoort in reverse. You haven't had enough of reverse. Look where we're going next week. Silverstone in reverse. So hopefully next time round the drivers will put in a little bit of time for that reverse circuit. Make sure they're ready for things. Of course, lots and lots of retirements today. 7 retirements, just 7 cars finishing. And we had a race winner who lost 7 positions due to a penalty. Of course, the Drivers' Championship will be updated. This was how it was prior to the start of this race. Jonas got race victory, so you can add 26 points to that. And obviously in the constructors, Red Bull had 190. They're going to have a whole lot more, 44 points for the race weekend, P1, P2, and the fastest lap. And maximum points tonight for Red Bull. Unfortunate for Weeze. He had those tech issues. They were able to hold on for so long, and then with a few laps to go, the tech issues had to kick in. But every now and then, that's what you get. A crazy, crazy race. I want to thank everybody who joined us in the comment section. There were quite a few of you here at a stage. Supervisor who joined in late. Oshkotoon finished P4. Keep that in mind. Maybe tonight won't count because only 7 finished, but we will discuss this further. So everyone watching, thank you very much. Of course, tonight is Sunday night. We come back on Tuesday night for SAFRL to do this all over again. Hope to see you all there. Till then, cheers.
Is that real sweat?
It's real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.
You've got a fire burning deep inside, a spark in the dark where your dreams collide. They'll tell you to stop, say the road's too long, but your heart keeps beating to a rebel song. Take a step, don't look below. Every scar's a story, only you will know. The weight of the world can't break your stride. You're carving your name where the stars reside. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. The ground may shake, but your roots run deep. Every fall you take is a promise you keep. The doubters will fade, their voices will break, 'cause your soul's on fire and it's yours to take. Run through the rain, chase the endless fight. Every dream you claim lights a spark in the night. The horizon's calling, it's yours to claim. A warrior's heart with a fearless flame. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. Stand tall when the thunder roars, break the locks, kick down the doors. Every step is a battle won, your story's just begun. Oh, let it soar, forevermore, forevermore. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise legend in the making till the end of time.